I'd like to begin by welcoming you all to the 29th Annual Durham College Athletic Banquet and Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. We'll start with a few rules. 1, there is no smoking until the completion of the entire banquet. So you can speak after. You can smoke outside. 2, following the dinner, the bar will be closed until the conclusion of the awards. And 3, when the dinner begins, the way the dinner is going to go this year, as it did last year for those who were here, for those who weren't, everybody will enter out through the doors by the Demore Arts sign. You will go out and receive your food and come back in the door that you all entered from. I hope everybody understands that. We will put that map in the yearbook next year. I think I'll begin by saying welcome from the DCSA as well. Can I have your attention, please? I'm trying not to be a jerk. Thank you. Again, I would like to welcome you all from the DCSA, as I was the DCSA president this year. Also worked at the athletic department again this year, and from myself and from my executive who is all here, we would like to welcome everybody here. And I will begin by introducing Bonnie Ginter-Brown, who is the Executive Director of Student Services, who will officially welcome everyone on behalf of the college, the President, and Student Services. Bonnie?
Thank you, Dwayne. I'm not quite sure who I am at this moment, but I'll try to get that straight, but I don't have any rules for you at all. But it is a great pleasure to welcome everyone here to this very special event. And I bring you greetings from Gary Polonsky, who right now is in Nashville at a conference that he could not escape. And he did send sort of a telegram. I want you to know that you should be lucky it's not a singing telegram, because I don't sing well. Not even as well as Gary. So this is Gary's message to all of you. Dear student athletes, coaches, managers, trainers, guests, our special Hall of Fame guests, and athletic staff, thank you for another sensational year. As a frequent and ardent fan, I feel badly that I have to be out of the country on this special night. Congratulations to all of you. Have a great party and have a cup of cocoa on me. Now, for my greetings, I would like to say that I echo what Gary has said about this being a very special night. For 2 main reasons. Tonight is the night that we get to honor those Hall of Fame inductees who have created the legacy that has, in my belief, put Durham College on the map as far as athletics are concerned. So our congratulations to all of you. And the second reason is that this is a celebration and a culmination of the very hard work of all of our lords and lady lords. We're incredibly proud of our teams. They do so well every year, and this year has not been an exception. This is a celebration. We want it to be informal, so when your guest or your inductee or your star walks up here, feel free to please clap and do anything you need to celebrate that. I would also be remiss, well, I guess maybe I should bring a few rules into this. But students, you know what our rules and regulations are. I would also be remiss if I didn't thank, excuse me folks, I've got some other special people to thank. If I didn't thank my staff, the staff in the athletic department, who do a wonderful job of putting this together every year. And so for those of you who've done this hard work, please stand up and be acknowledged at the beginning of the evening, beginning with Mr. Ken Babcock. To Lynn and Karen and Sean and Mike and Cheryl. share my gratitude for all you've done for them. Also, I would like to tell you that unfortunately tonight Terry King, who is our new board member and our assistant to the chair, is not able to be with us due to other pressing family matters. But it gives me great pleasure on behalf of Gary to introduce two of our board members who are here tonight. And beginning with Vassal Gojanovic, who is the administrative representative. Welcome, Vassal, and please stand up and be acknowledged. And the second board member that's at the head table is Lori Connor. Lori, thank you for coming tonight. And I want to share a secret with you tonight. I want this group to be the very first to know that this year we will be doing another first in athletics. Please remember these dates, but there will be information to follow. On October the 1st and 2nd of this year, we will be having our very first ever Alumni Varsity Homecoming Weekend. And students, those of you who are graduating this year, yes, you will be alumni. And to learn more about that, I'd like now at this time to pass over to Lori Connor, our very capable alumni person, to bring you greetings from the board and let you know more about alumni. Lori?
On behalf of the Durham College Board of Governors, I extend my best wishes to our athletes here tonight and special congratulations to our special award winners. The board members are always thrilled to hear about our great accomplishments of the athletes throughout the year, and Bonnie reports this information to us faithfully at every board meeting. Now I'll put on my other hat as the alumni officer of the college, and I'd like to introduce Steve Flarell, Vice President of the Alumni Association Board, who was able to join us this evening. Thank you for coming, Steve. The Alumni Association has been very busy this year. We've been able to negotiate group home and auto insurance for our alumni members. We're just in the process of securing rates for health, dental, and life insurance members. For those alumni who are working in contract positions and don't have this type of coverage, it's something that we felt we would like to offer to our alumni members. As Bonnie mentioned, October 1st and 2nd we'll be hosting our Varsity Reunion weekend, so we'd like to welcome back all the graduating students, as you'll be alumni, to come back and participate in your sport. And also the Alumni Association, for the first time, will be hosting an event, the Night of Convocation, a pub here at E.P. Taylor's. And again, we'd like to welcome the alumni members to come back, graduating students, and there'll be more information out on that. I have one favor to ask the athletes who are graduating here tonight. Please keep in touch. We know you move around, but please email us, phone us, fax us, send us your address so you know where we are. And when we hold these varsity reunions, we'll be able to get in touch with you. Again, congratulations and have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, Lori. Just about time for dinner. First of all, I'm going to end up, obviously the athletes will eat last. Those few loud ones in the back ruined it for the rest of you, sorry. I'll begin by introducing a gentleman that is now on the incoming student council for the upcoming year. The gentleman's name is Will Ellis. He'll be doing grace this evening, and he's the incoming vice president of sport. Will?
Special evening as we gather together to celebrate the past college year. Bless this food that we are about to receive and remember these special times of fellowship. Amen.
And now dinner. Again, I'll just kind of explain the way we're going to do this. Again, out through the door by the way that Will is walking now, and back through the door that you entered on. I think I'll begin to my direct right, and we'll go to the left with the meals. I'll begin with my student council in the far corner, and also the first two tickets. Thank you. I hope everybody enjoyed their meal, and again, once this begins, the desserts will still be there as well as coffee and tea, so don't hesitate to do so. First thing I'd like to do before we get the remainder of the evening started is ask for all the caterers to come out so that we can all thank them for such an enjoyable meal. So if the staff from Beaver Foods would come out of the kitchen. They just left. And now we'll begin the remainder of our agenda. To follow is the award ceremonies. And to begin, I would like to call up our Master of Ceremonies for this evening, the Durham College Athletic Director, Mr. Ken Babcock.
Thanks again, Michael. Good evening, welcome to Durham College, welcome to the Durham College Student Center, and EP Taylors, as it's proudly known. For those of you who haven't been here already, I know most of our student athletes have frequented this establishment on the odd Wednesday night. For those people who haven't been here, we're very proud of this facility. It's housing our student center activities on campus. I'd like to start off by quickly reiterating our head table to those people here in attendance, and we'll begin our agenda this evening of our induction ceremony to the Durham College Sports Hall of Fame and our year-end awards banquet presentations for each of our varsity teams, and we'll cap the night off with a presentation of our athletes of the year. So without further ado, I'd like to, if I could, reintroduce to you, and you've met her already, our Alumni Director, Lori Potter. Our Executive Director of Student Service, Bonnie Ginter-Brown. This next gentleman, who's been a behind-the-scenes kind of person this year, also sits on this outgoing executive, student council-wise, and some of our alumni in attendance here also served on council. You may want to take advantage of checking out the new office leagues they have in the 90s. Brett Mcgarrell was a big part of this. This young man from Oakville, Ontario, graduates this year. He's going to be spending, hopefully, a lot of time with a company called Nike, that some of you may know. And hopefully that'll work out great for Brett Mcgarrell, Vice President, Sport, DCSA. And certainly at this time, last but not least, I'd like to pay certainly this opportunity to a young man who's done a terrific job here for student athletes and coaches alike. One of the main reasons behind the outstanding support of Durham College varsity athletics here goes to this young man from a place a little bit north. Some people know where it is. It's called Haileybury, a little bit north of Ontario. I think it was the last city in northern Ontario not to be swallowed up by the new territory. This young man has done a tremendous job, and he'll have a big part to play the rest of this evening as well. And for me, it's my 15th banquet here at the college. I'm very proud of this evening. It's an emotional night for me, too, to see everyone. For one last time, and for those graduates as well, for the time spent here, I'm very proud of each of you as well. And certainly, our coaching staff, who spend hours and hours of time nurturing and guiding our student athletes to outstanding accomplishments, whatever they may be each year. So at this time, I'd like to, if you could, please raise a toast to our coaches at Durham College. If I could, Dwayne, you get to do this one last time at the head table. Please stand and be recognized for your outstanding accomplishments. Dwayne Christo, President. staff that are introduced to you. I'd like each of you to stand individually for a moment while I say a few words. And man, a few words can't sum up all the effort these individuals have put into our athletic seasons, our programs we offer through the athletic department, which are vast and also ongoing. We switch our mode to summer and spring programming, and it's going on now, and it's very essential to that. Their efforts towards intercollegiate athletics here at the college don't go unnoticed, although they do work behind the scenes. I'd like to recognize each of them at this time for their efforts for the past year. If you could, please stand at this time. And it's a little emotional for me here because this young lady's a young lady, been with Cheryl for a long time, but she may get confused sometimes with that. But you know Cheryl as our fitness coordinator. She's moving on to the teaching profession now, and we wish her the best of luck in that we're going to miss her in the athletic department greatly. Cheryl, if you could please stand. This next young man you may see a little more often as a gentleman working our later evening shift, and that's Sean Jackson. Sean, if you could stand. Sean's also a graduate, as is Cheryl at Durham College, and in fact our entire athletic department are graduates from Durham College. And Sean's done a tremendous job since coming through our co-op program, a sports admin grad, and he's busy at work now with our spring programs already as we change hats with spring basketball leagues and summer beach volleyball leagues. And Sean does a tremendous job at our department. Sean Jackson. This next individual has a great deal of work to do. It keeps me on side, it keeps me organized, which is sometimes an interesting task at best. And this person does a tremendous job behind the scenes with a great deal of tasks, including our financial and our administrative details in the athletic department, and also lending a terrific job to the athletic banquet as all our staff do in setting up and decorating and making sure this place looks quite nice this evening. Karen Richards, our varsity secretary. And lending her expertise to decorations and believe it or not, our staff get a lot of practice doing this. We put on a number of events. I think we've set a helium record in Ontario for balloons and setting up. They do a terrific job. This person does a tremendous job, not only at that, but in her job looking after our facility and the many, many events we have in our facility throughout the year, which include numerous facility rentals outside of the community, which we depend on the revenue from those. But this past year, we put through our facility 188 varsity games, 9 collegiate tournaments, 7 high school events, unfortunately none of which are from the Durham region since they're not participating this year. Elementary school events, special events, and this person does a great job keeping all this in line, scheduling our facility from 8 a.m. in the morning till 10 p.m. at night, 7 days a week, and that's Lynn Walton, if you can stand. Certainly this gentleman who everyone knows, and if you don't, you will shortly. And this gentleman not only is a great employee of Durham College in our athletic department, I'm glad to have him work closely with me in the athletic department. In fact, as a college graduate the same year as myself and also working in the same department, this gentleman exudes not only his everyday activities, but goes the extra mile in remembering that he too was once a graduate of Durham College and wants to better this place and make it even better than when he attended here. He does that every day of the week when he's here and beyond hours. And I'd like to introduce at this time Mr. Michael Duggan. We've got one additional guest who is a little late for our head table we'd like to introduce at this time. But before we do that, I'd like to call upon Mr. Brett Upton, who is our, for some people who will recognize him when he gets up. You know, he may not, he has a tie on tonight, but you may recognize him as our Voice of the Lords, our public address announcer during the season. If I could have Brett Upton please come forward. We have a special guest head table personality to introduce at this time. Brett?
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, everyone. First of all, I'd just like to say it's a pleasure to be here tonight to introduce our next guest. So at this time, folks, would you please direct your attention to the doorway over here? Introducing the new mascot for Durham College. Put your hands together for Lord.
At this time, before we get to the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, so if I could, I know our college always sets a great example of their appreciation to all our award winners this evening. I know it's an agenda we will move through fairly steadily, and I appreciate your eager response and attentive behavior for the rest of the evening. And I know as the past banquets have held true, you do a great job of that. I'd like to at this time present a very special award. It's an ongoing award, scholarship award, presented on behalf of Robert Burnett, a young man who was a college student at Durham College who passed away a number of years ago now from a long battle with Hodgkin's disease. And Rob Burnett was a member of our men's basketball team and battled this during 2 ongoing years at the college. And this time every year, on behalf of the family of Rob Burnett and also Don Cherry's Grapevine, who is a sponsor of this particular bursary, we'd like to present this year, and the award is presented to a gentleman on the men's basketball team. It is a bursary award for $250. It is presented to a gentleman who exemplifies the same character Rob Burnett has. And Rob was a gentleman who wasn't the star of the team, he was absolutely the star of the entire universe for his dedication, his perseverance, his ongoing battle with a very difficult disease. Unfortunately, he lost that battle, but his spirit certainly continues on here at Durham College. And the recipient this year of the Robert Burnett Memorial Scholarship Bursary Award goes to men's basketball player Chris Klusterman. Please come forward. Congratulations, Chris. Well done. Good for you. I'd like to call upon this time, if I could, our now retired Director of Student Services and still very active in our alumni and current varsity events. And certainly we're very pleased to have him here this evening. I'd like to call upon Mr. Richard Snowden to make our next special presentation. Richard's going to be presenting this special award on behalf of a gentleman that we lost dearly just a year ago, Matt Simmons, longtime supporter of the college, a graduate of Durham, and very heavily involved in a wide range of activities at Durham College, especially on student council, activating and proacting the Alumni Association in its early days. And certainly we're very proud to honor this award, an ongoing scholarship award, presented each year to an outstanding young lady on the women's softball program, who meets strong academic background, strong team leadership and team contributions, and also a vast supporter of our athletic programs in general. And this year, on behalf of Durham College, the Simmons family will present a Memorial Scholarship Bursary Award in the form of $200 to this young lady from Perth, Ontario, Amanda Jeffrey. Congratulations, Amanda. Thank you, Richard. We have one more special award before we begin our Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And we'd like to present one more special award this evening. And at this time, it's quite a significant award to Durham College because we really like to honor our alumni. We love it when they come back here and see what's going on and stay in touch with the college. As Lori said earlier, it's a big part of the future strength of the college, the strength of our alumni. And what we'd like to do at this time is present a special award to someone who is, one, an alumni, two, a very significant individual, both as a student athlete here and also in his post-collegiate days. And he's a young man who has overcome significant obstacles in his life. Not only be here today, which is an exceptional accomplishment, following school he suffered a severe head trauma injury at a working accident and has recovered to that, and since then, at that time, after graduating in 1983 from Durham College and working his way back through extensive rehab, has gone on not only to become an outstanding citizen and continue everyday life, which is great to see someone continue after such a serious accident. This young man also went on to record and is still the world record holder in 2 events in the Paralympic Games, and I won't particularly mention which ones, frankly, really competed in several.
Live.
Frank will definitely fill you in, guaranteed. This young man is a tremendous supporter of the college. He's very seldom he misses a game. He lives in Toronto. Every time our college teams play in Toronto, you can see him show up with his 1982-83 varsity jacket on. It still fits. He supports our colleges at home by attending every special event we have and volunteering, whatever that may be, and still battling a difficult tiredness. He tends to get a little tired at some of the events, but he perseveres through regardless because he loves Durham College. And it's a real tribute tonight, and we'd like to present a special appreciation award to this gentleman who recently was inducted into the Terry Fox Hall of Fame for his significant contributions not only to disabled athletics, but also to the charities and fundraising efforts to go to those events. And for that, he was inducted recently into the Terry Fox Hall of Fame. I'd like to call upon at this time to receive a special appreciation award on behalf of Durham College, Mr. Frank Bernan. inductees themselves and special guests that have come back for this evening to witness the induction this year of 3 outstanding individuals into the Durham College Sports Hall of Fame. They will join 9 other already inducted into the Hall of Fame this evening. And we'd like to give a little bit of background. In 1997, the Durham College Athletic Department and the college itself opened its first ever Hall of Fame, which is located on the 2nd level of the Athletic Center, and is open to the public viewing at any time. And it honors the achievements and contributions of those individuals in 3 distinct categories: as a student athlete, as a coach, and as a builder. And this evening we recognize 3 individuals who qualify for this outstanding achievement. We would at this particular time announce that we will have a special presenter for each of our Hall of Fame inductees. And at this time I'd like to call upon Mr. Richard Snowden to make our first presentation to our Hall of Fame inductee at this time. Richard.
Thanks, Ken. Our first inductee is Alan Gates. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on Al and some of, not too much, but some of my memories of him. Al was a good, but not a great, varsity soccer player for Durham College. Al was a good, but not a great varsity curler for Durham College. Al was a good, but not a great golfer for Durham College. Al was a good, but not a great varsity basketball player for Durham College. Yes, that's right. Al played 4 varsity sports in 1973-74, and 3 varsity sports in 72-73 and 74-75. In all, he competed in 10 varsity seasons, a feat unique in Durham's history and one that shall probably stand forever. Al was a business admin program student at Durham College back when there was 34 hours of instruction per week. He was, on the President's Academic Honor Roll, averaged over 80% all 3 years. Al was also active in student affairs and served as vice president for what is now the Durham College Student Association. Al was honored as Durham's Athlete of the Year in 1974-75. All this, and Al still found time to have fun and socialize, to be a friend and a really good guy. Al's success has continued since graduation in his personal and business career, and he's currently the Director of Information Technology for Molson's Breweries. A worthy inductee to our Hall of Fame, who is much or more than any of the 12 persons whose picture hang in this hall represent what Durham and what college athletics should be all about. Al, welcome. It will be an honor to hang up there in the corridor with you. Please join me in welcoming our newest and most deserving inductee, Alan Gates.
Take a picture when I'm drinking. And it wasn't Molson's. Quick, get me a Molson's. Distinguished head table, fellow inductees, faculty, coaches, and guests. When Ken Babcock called me in late January to inform me of my induction into the Durham College Athletic Hall of Fame, the first thing that I thought was, how much is this going to cost me? When Ken informed me that this wasn't a fundraising effort, I then began to wonder if it was an early April Fool's joke. Who had put him up to this? Could it have been my soccer coach, Vassal, Gojanovic, or my golf coach, Jerry Pettit? The curling coach, Richard Snowden? Or the basketball coach, Dave Stewart? Then I thought, no, None of them could still be holding a grudge over the number of beer that I won playing shuffleboard at the General Sikorsky Polish Hall, you know? Again, Ken assured me that it wasn't any joke, and I was to receive the honor in April. Although I was truly honored to receive the award after so many, many years, I still wasn't totally convinced until Dick Dutchy Snowden left me a phone mail message which started, "Gator, you dumb shit, congratulations." As soon as I heard that, I knew it had to be true. I then started to think about how they could have recommended a former athlete with what I considered pretty mediocre skills to such an honor. It was true that I had competed, as Dick mentioned, in varsity in 4 different sports. I'd also competed in intramural athletics and been on the Student Athletic Council. But I don't know today that if I was in college, I would have great difficulty in making one of those varsity teams, let alone 4. But then again, I am 48 years old and maybe I've lost a step or 2. Then it finally hit me. It wasn't that I was much of an outstanding athlete in any one of the sports, but because I had participated and competed in all of these sports and done so to the best of my abilities. I think that this is a key idea I would like to share with you young athletes here. You know, you have a great opportunity here at Durham to combine the advantages of a terrific educational program while participating in sports that you love and that you're good at. And whether you win or lose, make sure that when you look into the mirror at the end of the day, the person that's looking back at you can safely say that you held nothing back. And when you are a little older and perhaps maybe a little gray around the edges, make sure that you give back to the sports that you love. Whether that be as a coach or an official or working on organization committees, make sure that you give back to the sports and to your communities for the pleasure of your participation now. In closing, I would like to again thank Durham College for allowing me the opportunity to participate as an athlete and the nominating committee for bestowing this honor upon me. I'd also like to thank my family for their support over the many years and my wife for her understanding when I'm not at home because of continuing competitions and committees. But especially my parents, who back in the early 70s sat me down and gave me the following words of wisdom. Al, go back to school, get a job, or get out. The rest, as they say, is history. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Congratulations, Alan. And for those who don't know, the joke about Molson bears home a little more because Al certainly would appreciate Molson drinkers this evening as the Director of Information Technology for Molson Canada. And also spare time as well. Thanks, Al. I'd like to introduce at this time, if I could, for our next presentation, former coach of this student athlete at Durham College, and to assist as well, if he's not getting too tired out this evening, Mr. Richard Snowden, a former coach of this young student athlete as well. Please come forward at this time, Mr. Stan Marchand, our current women's volleyball head coach, and still our women's volleyball coach.
Thank you. That's my team over there, I hope. I knew it was too dark out here to read this. Wait a minute, up here. Well, It's a real honor and a privilege to get serious here, to have coached Sue and to know her. Fine young lady, and what I want to do is tell you what happened after she graduated, and then Rich is going to come up and he's going to speak about her softball career, and then we're going to give you her career here at Durham College, all her achievements. But anyway, when she left Durham after graduating sports administration, she went and worked for the Ontario Gymnastics Federation at the Sports Center. Pretty well ran everything there. And then she did a really bad thing. She went to Seneca College, got a job there as recreation coordinator and student advisor, and started coaching the volleyball team, helping coach, and beat us 5 years in a row. But you know, after every time we played them, we didn't beat them at all, not once in those 5 years. She always had this look in her eyes, she had this empathy for me that they had beat. She sort of felt sorry. She's glad she won, but she felt sorry for the team and for me that they had beaten us so badly all those years. And I appreciate that. Then she got promoted as community recreation coordinator. In the meantime, she got married, has a son 4 years old, and now her life, once she starts driving him to all those softball and volleyball matches, is going to change forever. So I met Sue, first of all, when she was a walk-on. I didn't know she was coming to the school. And that was the best thing that ever happened to our team. It was really a surprise. Extremely coachable, dedicated, playing two sports, worked very hard, led by example, was co-captain of the first team that ever got to the Nationals from Durham College. And the other thing that I thank her for was the support that I got, because at the Nationals we had a starter who broke curfew, and I benched that player, and Sue backed me up all the way. We got to the bronze anyway, with that player sitting on the bench, and it was quite an accomplishment, as no other team had gotten that far in Durham at that time. The only problem during her career was that being a setter, setters never get enough recognition, and yet have the hardest job on the team. And it's unfortunate. Everybody looks at the kill statistics, the blocks, the stuff. They don't pay too much attention to setters. And really, if they had done it the right way, she should have been an OCA All-Star all 3 years. Very tough on the court, never gave up. We really couldn't have won without her. It would have been impossible. And the thing that I really thank her for is that she made me look like a great coach in only my second year at the college level. Thanks very much, Sue.
I coached varsity softball at Durham College for about 10 years, and for the first 4 or 5 years we were pretty good, but we always found a way to lose to Seneca in the finals. They were just a little bit better. Beating big and cocky Seneca College got to be our rallying cry and goal. We finally accomplished this with considerable assistance from Sue Smith. She was an excellent fielding third base person and a power hitter. She was our captain and one of our leaders in Durham College's back-to-back Ontario championships. I think the mid-'80s must have been before global warming, because we played on some of the damnedest, coldest Friday nights in September and in October history. Jim Anderson and I would look up at the few shivering, blanket-wrapped fans, and there, all the way from St. Mary's, near London, would be Sue's parents. Sometime later I pondered, why the hell would anybody drive 2.5 hours to see us beat Brockville 15-0 in a 5-inning mercy game in front of freezing Friday night? I thought about that for a while, and I kind of concluded that maybe that act of coming probably represented a major reason why Sue is like she is, one of the nicest and most loyal persons you'll ever meet. Sue, you helped provide me with 2 of my fondest memories of the college. Beating that bloody Seneca team for the first time, and the fun times we had together as a team. And now you've joined the enemy, Seneca College. But that's okay now, because the rivalry doesn't exist anymore, and you'll always be a special friend. Congratulations, you are a great and most appropriate addition to the Hall of Fame. Thanks, Sue.
We're not finished yet, Sue. You can stay. A little history now. Sue Scobee Smith was born in St. Mary's in 1966, and she began an exceptional 3-year collegiate career at Durham in 1984. Prior to graduating from sports administration in 1987, she was an all-star third baseman in women's softball from 1984 to 1987, leading her team to back-to-back OCAA championships in 1984 and 85. College volleyball was also a sport Sue excelled at from 1984 to 1987 at Durham. As a setter, she also captained the 1985-86 volleyball team to the school's first ever Ontario Colleges Athletic Association Division I Volleyball Championship title and first ever trip to the Canadian Colleges Athletic Association National Championships for a Durham College team, winning a bronze medal in British Columbia. In total, the standout two-sport athlete won 5 OCAA gold medals, 1 OCAA bronze medal, and 1 CCAA bronze medal. Behind the scenes, she served a term on the Student Athletic Association and capped off her college athletic career by being named Female Athlete of the Year at Durham in 1986-87. Congratulations, Sue.
Thank you, Stan and Dick. Those very kind words. I'd like to first express my gratitude to the selection committee for considering me for this award. It really, truly is a great honor. And congratulations to Al and to Ernie on receiving this award tonight, and to those in the past. It's nice to be part of such a great group of people to receive this award. I too, when I received the call from Ken a couple months ago, I started thinking, why me? And you start to go back through the memories of your achievements. And it was a great trip through memory lane. 12 years of memories, looking at photo albums, newspaper clippings, press releases, awards, and old championship programs with those scribbled notes from teammates and coaches inside. I remember when I left for college. Believe it or not, I was going there to get an education. I wasn't going to play sports. I didn't even know they had sports teams that I'd be interested in. And that didn't last too long. I remember walking down the hall and seeing the sign for women's softball tryouts. Of course, I had no equipment, but I went to the tryouts anyway. I don't know if any of you know Jim Anderson's son. He's very tall. He has big hands. And I used his equipment, and I was playing the hot corner, third base, with this huge glove, and I couldn't have caught a cold that night. And I remember them telling me afterwards my nicknames, Stonehand Smith, and they were going to cut me, and on and on. But I guess that worked out okay in the end. When I got home that night, I called my mom and said, Mom, we have a softball team, can you send my equipment? And she said, I asked her to send it down on the bus, and I sent it to the great coach, and I met the great coach, and I got my equipment. And as I said, I guess things worked out in the end. When baseball season ended, it was back to the books and studying, until, of course, I saw that sign for volleyball tryouts. Again, off I go to the volleyball tryouts. At that time, I had one of the only injuries I've ever had in my life, which was tendonitis in the arch of my foot. I'm going up to this coach, Stan Marchant, and saying, Stan, I can help your team. Don't forget me yet. And I sat on the bench, and I shagged balls, and I went to every tryout, and I watched the chalk talks, and I listened to the coach until I was able to play. But I kept begging him not to let me go until he could see me play. And I guess that worked out okay too. Somehow 12 years of memories makes you appreciate this institution, its people, and this award even more. I would like to recognize that it's not a personal achievement, but one that couldn't be done without great administrators, coaches, and teammates, and I thank all of them. People like Dave Stewart, Ernie Rainbow, Dick Snowden, Jim Anderson, Stan Marchant, who went out of their way to make me feel at home, excel at my sports, and learn about life in the process. And to my teammates, some of who are here tonight, Leslie and Mcgarrell, we made lifelong friendships, had amazing times, and made a lot of memories, and we were pretty good too. I'd also like to thank my parents. Who came home early from their winter home in Florida to help celebrate this award with me tonight. It doesn't surprise me because they were out there in Brockville in the freezing cold. It doesn't surprise me that they did come home to help me celebrate tonight. They've been part of my athletic career from day one, as coaches and as my biggest fans. You being here tonight and your support over the years means the world to me. I should say though, Mr. Snowden, I think we'll have to give some of the credit to my dad for my baseball abilities because he did coach me when I was a little girl. I can't have all the credit. And to my best friend and my husband Mark, thank you for sharing tonight with me. As I mentioned, we have a 3-year-old son who will be turning 4 on Sunday. And well, honey, I think we'll have to live our athletic dreams through him because he's got potential. Thank you very much again to the selection committee and to the athletes. Congratulations tonight. This really does mean a lot. Years back, when I look back. And thank you.
Congratulations, Sue. Thanks, Stan and Richard. Our third and final inductee this evening. And another gentleman who spent not only a great deal of time through the entire, gamut you could run as a student athlete, as an employee, and now as a faculty member at Durham College. It's certainly an honor for me to be here and be a part of an event that certainly pays tribute to a gentleman who I learned a great deal from in my early years here at the college, and certainly try to carry that torch highly from where Ernie started. And I'd like to call upon this time a good friend of mine, a good friend of our next inductee into our Sports Hall of Fame, who's made the trip from Belleville tonight as the Assistant Athletic Director at Loyalist College and a former employee and a graduate of Durham College. I'd like to call upon Mr. Jim Buck to come forward.
Thank you very much, Ken. First off, I'd like to congratulate everybody. I know that there's a number of awards to be handed out later tonight. Having sat where you're sitting now a great many years ago, we sit with anticipation waiting for these awards, and although they haven't been handed out yet, I congratulate you all on the success that the teams have had this year and the individuals have had. And despite the fact that I'm at another college now and truly bleed red, white, and blue, lance of blood, I still have a bit of green and gold left in me from days gone past. It's a real honor for me to be here tonight to pay tribute and dedication to Mr. Ernie Rainbow, who I consider first and foremost a very close and great friend. When I came here in the early 80s, after having been at University of Calgary for a couple of years, I was a little bit older when I came back to school. I was in my early 20s. And one of the first people I met at Durham College was Mr. Ernie Rainbow. And through that time, Ernie and I have shared a lot in common. One was barbers. Two was our love of music and good times. And three, and probably most important, was our dedication and love of sports, and how that dedication became very important to Durham College. As an athlete and a member of the Student Athletic Association, I spent a lot of time around Ernie, who at that time was the assistant athletic director. And we had a lot of travels together, both from a work standpoint and from a fun standpoint. And I promised Ernie, with his family here tonight and his lovely wife Kimberly, that I would keep all the stories to ourselves. And despite the begging of some of the people from the table for some dirt on Ernie, I said I would keep it to myself. But I will tell one story about Ernie, and it was just after being at Durham a couple of years. Ernie invited me over to his house one night to watch his beloved Expos on TV. And we were having a couple of cold pops and watching the game. And at this time, Ernie had this little tiny dog. And about the third inning, one of the Expo players hit a home run. And there was a bunch of us sitting on the couch, and this dog started jumping around, ran down the end of the couch, gave us all a high five. And I said, Ernie, that's unbelievable. That's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I said, what does that dog do when your Expos win? He says, I don't know. I've only had this dog for 4 years. As I said, we've had a lot of fun over the years. We had a lot of great trips. Ernie's been a big fan of NCAA college basketball. We've traveled out throughout most of the states for a number of years watching the NCAA tournament. We've had a lot of fun going to concerts and a number of other things. But I guess what I'd like to say most about Ernie is that what I admired when I was a student athlete here, and then after I graduated and was hired on to the athletic department for a number of years, was working with Ernie and the dedication that he made to Durham athletics. I don't think that the college would be where it is today without Ernie's dedication, his attention to detail, his love for what he does, the sacrifices he made. He was here no matter what sport the college was hosting. Ernie would be here from early morning till late at night. Athletic banquets year after year, he was a driving force to making those very successful. And again, a lot of those nights were late nights, working of course. His attention to the things that a lot of colleges at that particular time weren't doing yet, things we take for granted now. Special awards, fan support, media support, the attention that college varsity athletics has grown to today at both the Ontario level and the national level is a big part of what Ernie Rainbow has done. He taught Ken and I how important it is to get rid of cell phones. We didn't have those back then. We had these big mega horns. But Ernie made sure when we hosted that every detail was looked after. And a lot of times probably didn't get the recognition that he deserved. And I think tonight is a result of all that hard work that he did, the time and effort that he put forward on behalf of his student athletes and the college. At this particular time, he's moved out of athletics and he's in the sports admin teaching area. He said he's never had it so easy in his life. but he's continued to strive for great things with that program. And I know looking back that I have a lot of fond memories of the things that I learned from Ernie. Certainly when I take on projects at our particular institution, I often think of how would Ernie handle this situation? What would Ernie do to make this better than most events? And I learned a lot from him. I want to thank him for that. It was a great honor to work with Ernie. We've had a lot of fun the last, I guess about 14 summers doing basketball camps here at Durham College. Another project that Ernie started out and has taken on to an incredible level. We've had a lot of fun doing that. And I just want to pay tribute to Ernie tonight, to his family. I know they're very proud of him, and they've traveled some ways tonight to be here. He's done an outstanding job for Durham College, and it's a real honor for me here to be here tonight and pay tribute to Ernie and to congratulate the other inductees. I'll read what the script was given to me. I promised that I said I wouldn't tell a lot of stories, but I'll read the script that was given to me on Ernie's induction. Ernie Rainbow was born in Belleville in 1958 and began his career at Durham in 1981 as the assistant athletic director at Durham College after graduating from the Sports and Min program in 1980. Ernie was a student athlete in basketball at Durham College, but he was more well known as a highly successful coach at the intercollegiate level. He coached the men's basketball team, the women's basketball team, touch football team, and golf. As an administrator, Ernie worked for 10 years in the athletic department and forged many additional areas of excellence in athletics. These include bringing in marketing, promotion, and increased media, as well as helping Durham become one of the top colleges in the CCAA. His overall contribution and professionalism in many areas is undeniably the deserving reason behind his induction into the Hall of Fame at Durham College. Mr. Ernie Rainbow.
I owe you big time, Jim. Hit table, fellow inductees. I got a different phone call from Ken. He said, Ern, I'd like to give you some good news. You're being inducted into the Hall of Fame. By the way, you only have 30 seconds to speak. So, given that, and the clock is ticking, first I want to say a special thank you to the selection committee, to Dave Stewart, who brought me here approximately 19 years ago as a young buck and attended, to work as an assistant, and I certainly learned a great deal from that gentleman as well. To Ken, Sue, Jim, a couple others that when I was in the athletic department, I either worked with them in student governments or they were my fieldwork students. I'm starting to feel a little old up here, especially when I had to announce the date that I was born. I'd also like to say a special thank you for tonight to my family, to my wife Kimberly, my sisters, my brother-in-laws, my mom, dear friends who come a long distance in order to share in this. It means a lot to me. I have to clarify a couple of things though. People have been asking me about golf. How did you become the golf coach? I drove the car to the tournament. London, way back when, there was a tournament. Woke up early, get the guys up out of bed, get ready to get to the course. It was foggy, very foggy. I said, guys, go back to bed. Not a problem. I'll just phone and see what time our tee off is. I phoned the club. The club said, it is clear as a bell here, you guys are on the tee in 15 minutes. Broke speeding records to get there. A gentleman by the name of Jim Miller got out of the car, grabbed his clubs, hit the first tee, and it was the best ball he hit all day. The next one off the tee, and this is not a lie, his name was Chip Green. Not a lie, not a lie. There are a lot of other names in that department too that we don't want to know. Got out and got the best score of the day. By way of touch football, when you talk about coming in as a builder and a coach, touch football, this is how good a coach I was. Went to the regionals, we forgot our plays, we forgot our equipment, that being the footballs, forgot everything, won the regionals. Did the same thing, we got the soccer equipment on the bus instead of the touch football equipment, so we arrived with all the soccer balls, the soccer team arrived with the footballs. Both teams won that weekend. A couple of things throughout this, a lot of people have asked me, well, what are your fondest memories? Well, that's quite difficult to say. In thinking back, as our fellow inductees have stated, that's a number of years back, I had the opportunity to work, I was figuring out approximately 1,000 student athletes here at the college, either as a coach, through the administration, and I think through the highs and lows, those were the special memories that I did achieve. When you see teams, the women's programs have done very well again this year, sharing in those type of things as a coach and as administrator is extremely pleasing. And also thank you to the athletic department, because I do know what goes into making an event like this happen tonight, and the amount of weekends and nights that you can spend away from family, away from friends, in order to make this thing click. So finally, my minute and a half is up. I'd like to thank you wholeheartedly. I do appreciate this. I am humbled, I am honored, especially looking down the hall, the amount of people that are inducted. A few of them do share the same hairline I do. I don't know if that means anything to be inducted into the hall. Anyway, thank you very much. I surely appreciate it, and I'm honored by it. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ernie, and thank you to Buck. While they have a couple pictures being taken here, some of our local media are here, I thank you for that. I would like to take this time and opportunity for each of you. In your placemat, you discovered an athletic yearbook. It's a culmination of a great deal of work, not only by you, the student athletes, and coaching staff, that grace the insides of this book, but also to a number of people you'll see inside on the front inside cover, page 1, that contributed greatly to this book. And I'd like to name those people at this present time. A lot of hard work by Dwayne Christo, Jeremy Kennedy, Rob Bateman, and of course Al Fournier. A terrific job with this year's yearbook. Thank you. At this time, we'd like to move on to the varsity team-by-team award presentations. And they will go as follows. We will call up the head coach from each of our teams. They will call up their assistant coaches to assist at the table. And we'll move through our teams with our intercollegiate awards in the following categories: Rookie of the Year, Coach's Award, and Most Valuable Player. Before we do that, however, we have two significant awards that we award each year, and it started 3 years ago. And that is an award that honors and recognizes those 4-year student athletes graduating from Durham College. 4 years of eligibility is the maximum for our students. We have 2 students graduating this year in their 4th year. They'll be double diploma holders. And I'd like to call upon at this time to receive their 4-year award from the men's soccer team, Mr. David Staley. Program, Joanna Van Dyke. David and Joanna. 4 outstanding years, indeed. We'd like to start our varsity portion of our agenda, and just before that, we received when you came in a package as a student athlete. I'd like to recognize the support of our student council, in particular Dwayne Christo and Mcgarrell for their leadership, and the nice memento t-shirt that each student athlete, coach, manager will receive this evening. Building for the Millennium is our theme. We're very proud of that. You should receive your package when you came in along with your team picture and varsity pin. So at this time, I'd like to recognize our student council for their outstanding support of that venture. Okay, without further ado, we're set. Varsity Awards are next, and we'll run through, starting, first of all, with golf. Head coach, Mike Duggan.
Okay, we're going to start off. Hopefully this isn't too loud for the people in the corner over there. I was the one that was whistling. Men's golf. We started off with about 40 people trying out for the team. We worked our way down to 6. And unfortunately, I got 2 people here tonight. The rest are at their own banquets tonight for their opening. It's called Meet the Members. And the people that are not here send their regrets. The golf team improved a lot from last year. We finished 8th last year after taking a 2-year hiatus. And with some funding and the support of the Oshawa Country Club, we were able to bring our golf program back. And I'm privileged to carry on the tradition from Mr. Jerry Pettit, and I have to include Ernie now, I guess, also. The golf team finished 5th this year up in Barrie. Very first day of practice, it was sunny. We walked around the course, we took notes, we thought, we have a shot at this. Wake up the next morning, and typical northern weather, it's rainy, it's cold, and the guys got out of the chute a little slow, but they fought back, and I was quite proud of them, and we ended up in 5th out of 12 schools. This year, your Rookie of the Year, which is Cale Matthews, first-year student, and Cale showed a lot of class, commitment, and hard work, and that's deserving of Rookie of the Year. Cale? Sorry for the delay, I don't have an assistant coach, but apparently I have an assistant coach next year, and that's Stan. So Stan, you're driving the bus. The next award is the Jerry Pettit Award, which emphasizes coaching award. And unfortunately, Brian McNair is not here. Brian is a second-year team member. Brian typifies what Jerry's all about: hard work, commitment, and team leadership. So on behalf of myself, we'll accept Brian's award. He's at St. Andrews East at his banquet tonight. At this time, I'd like to call Mr. Jerry Pettit, former golf coach, to come up to present the MVP, please. This year's MVP is also first-year placement student, or sportsman student, Scotty Wynn. He's not the typical golfer, doesn't like to practice, laid back, easygoing, but when it came time to get out on the golf course and actually go out and play, there was nobody else that we looked to for that first place finish. This year's MVP from Collingwood, Ontario, and that's just a little north of my hometown, Barrie, Ontario. That's up north, guys. Is Scott Roebuck. And next year, we have a good nucleus back. Everybody's back from this year's team. So we're looking for better results next year, and hopefully we can hang another golf banner on the gym. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Terry. And congratulations to our golf recipients. I would add Terry Pettit, former golf coach for 20 seasons here at the college, and also a member of the Hall of Fame in attendance. I'd also like to recognize those in attendance as well, also in the Hall of Fame tonight, if they could. Vassal Gojanovic, who is also here. And Leslie Howard. This time, I'd like to move on to women's soccer head coach. And if I could in a moment, take a little more time this time because Ike is moving on in his personal career. He'll be leaving the college, his coaching career here this year. Women's soccer here at the college, an outstanding program since its inception in 1990, taken to a new pinnacle over the last 3 seasons by this gentleman and the outstanding group of student athletes on the women's soccer program. And this year, no exception, a 4th place finish, making it to the Final Four in soccer is one of the toughest Final Four to make. In Ontario, and Coach Olmstead took his team there again. The tough task of following up as the defending NCAA champions a year ago. Took our women's soccer program to the first ever national championship in our soccer history in just 8 short years. I'd like to please call upon at this time head coach women's soccer, Ike Olmstead.
First, I'd like to call up my assistant coach, Lloyd Farron. This year, coming off of last year Ontario champions, we lost quite a few players. We only had 7 returning, 14 rookies. This year was, in my mind, a very successful year for the girls that were involved with the team. Because I guess if you would have saw us at the start when we first put the team out on the field, you would have said, oh, this team's not going to go too far. But what ended up happening, and what I said right from the start with this team was we would get better as we went along. And by the end of the season, we played a great game in the Ontario Final Fours. I think the girls have a lot to be proud of as far as what they accomplished from where they started to where they ended up at the end of the season. The thing that was really nice about it was the fact that even the other teams were complimenting the girls on their performance in that game, and actually were saying that we should have won it and everything, and I still believe we should have won it. Unfortunately, we didn't, but that's how it goes sometimes. So it was a great season in my mind, and I'd like to commend the girls on every single one of them on their performance and how they came around and developed as a team throughout the season. So this, my rookie of the year this year, in my mind, she was an inspirational player on the team with her effort. She ended up being a leader just by the way she played and constantly hustling out there. I'd like to call on Captain Walton. Girls on the team who started with me, were with me all 3 years, and I think they played a key role in bringing Durham College program up to where it is now, because I think we are getting a lot of respect as far as when we were at the Ontarios. Some of the coaches were acknowledging, oh, Durham's back again, we're here again. So I think we really put women's soccer on the map. I think these girls played a key role. They were there all 3 years. They helped the rookies to understand what it was all about, as well as they helped recruit some players. So I'd like to acknowledge all 3 of these girls, which would be Carrie Nelson, Jen Post, and Allison Avery. The MVP of this year's team. I don't think there's too much question. I think amongst the girls, he was our leader. If you watched any of our games this year, you would have definitely have noticed her as an all-star player out there. Great girl. Love her. Jamie Kerr. One more thing I want to do is, my 3 years of coaching here, I had the same assistant coach all 3 years. I want to acknowledge her. I think we formed a great team. She's easy to work with. I guess she just did as she was told. No, but I want to acknowledge her, and Lori, these are for you. Thanks for all your assistance. Thank Durham College Athletics, the athletic department, for all their assistants, all the staff members, for all that they did while I was head coach, and muchly appreciated, and take care, thanks for everything. And
Thanks a lot, Ike. Lori, congratulations to our recipients, women's soccer. Ike, before you get too far away, if you could, I'd like you to stand down here in front of the table and you'll do what you're told. And we've got a special award here. You're even, Lori. We've got a special award we'd like to present this time, if Jeremy can quickly secure that. Each of our coaches that do leave, we like to certainly show our significant appreciation for all their contributions. And Ike is forging ahead. It's sort of a lifelong dream of his to move overseas to his hometown, where he was, his roots are actually in Holland, and pursue some soccer goals and some personal goals overseas, and will be leaving shortly, fairly soon, depends how it goes. He is leaving our soccer program. We're very proud of his accomplishments, and we'd like to present as a special memento to him an award that he can take back. If you could hold that up high, Jeremy, for everyone to see. Ike Alstad. Not only with our first ever championship, first trip to nationals, winning record of 27, 12, and 5 in 3 years of exceptional achievement. Congratulations, Ike. Men's soccer is next. And men's soccer, we'd like to, at this time, it's an interesting combination here. In Ike's departure, we're also welcomed with the arrival, or I should say, re-arrival, of a coach who's been with us for 17 years in our men's program, who, on the topic of women's soccer right now, will be rejoining us as a coach with our women's soccer program. And I'd like to call it, before we get going with Stan and the men's soccer group right now, I'd like to call upon our new head coach to come up, because we've got a couple special things that he's going to be taking part in with the men's soccer program. But we'd also like to welcome our new women's soccer head coach, Mr. Vassal Gojanovic. Vassal's going to be assisting in a special award once we get to it, our most valuable player at this particular time. And I'd like to announce formally this evening, and thanks Vassal for your support, will be officially named the Vassal Gojanovic Award from this day forward. And Vassal's support and certainly his dedication to men's soccer for 17 years is certainly most deserving of that award. So Vassal, thanks very much, and from now on the MVP award will be named after you. So thank you very much. Men's soccer is next. Again, same story as the women. Ontario champions coming in, defending Ontario champions for the 4th time at Nationals a year ago. This past year, nationally ranked again, as our women's soccer program was. Tough goal, but losing in almost the 18th overtime penalty kick round in what it seemed like in Hamilton against Humber College. This year, we got it in the past, they got us this year in overtime. But a 4th place finish at the Ontario's in the Final Four again. An outstanding season, also an outstanding first season for this head coach, who also rejoins us as a former grad, a former all-star soccer player here, in his first season as head coach, an all-star head coach. Please welcome Stan Bombino.
It's certainly an honor for me to be here tonight, and it's an honor for me to be chosen this year as the head coach of the men's varsity soccer team. It doesn't seem so long ago that I myself was trying to kick the ball into the net. And it doesn't seem too long ago either that I asked a particular young lady to attend the banquet with me a number of years ago. I won't say how long ago. And she's also with me tonight. And it's not so bad. Ernie, you had mentioned, Sonny mentioned about being in Brockville. I'm a winner as far as Brockville goes because she's from Brockville. It's my wife, Kathy. This year, it was a challenge for me to coach this year simply because I didn't know what the college teams were like. I'm involved in soccer. My wife will tell you, go every night with the Ontario Soccer Association. And I didn't know what the caliber of play that was out there. I was quite impressed to see the caliber of soccer here at the college. You got to remember that when you compete against other colleges such as Humber, they number-wise, they outweigh us quite a bit. And for us to come in third in Ontario, or fourth in Ontario, second in our division, that's a big pat in the back for our players. I'm not used to speeches like Campbell's. You'll have to bear with me. As I had mentioned early on in the season, if you surround yourself with winners, you in turn will be a winner. And in my estimate, this year, the men's soccer team is certainly a winning team. And I did surround myself with winners both on and off the field. Off the field, I was fortunate to have excellent coaching staff, and I'd like to call them up now. Bombino, not Muriel Bruno. Paul Nesbitt. And being a rookie coach, my job was made so much easier with the help of this individual, Gordon. The next individual I'll call up is the Rookie of the Year. This individual displayed not just talents on the field, but off the field, leadership. And he, whenever the team was feeling a little bit down, he certainly had the mouth and the skill to bring us up to where we should be. I'd like to call up Kwame. Our next recipient is the Coaches Award. It's James Prescott. Unfortunately, James couldn't be with us here tonight. And I'll ask the coaches to accept the award his honor. Most valuable player. This is it's a strange award in the sense that I feel that all players are valuable as much as the next. It's just that this individual worked hard, and he worked hard every game, and he kept us in. The position he played was goalkeeper, and if anyone has ever experienced playing goal, one shot makes you, or save can make you a winner, one goal make you a loser. Dave Staley for us was outstanding, and I'd like to ask Coach Gojanovic, the big cockroach, to make the presentation to Dave Staley. One last thing before I step down here, and that I'd like to invite each and every individual in this room and the college to come out and support us this October. Durham College will be hosting the national championships here in Oshawa. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Stan, coaching staff, and our award recipients. Of special note, and if I could at this time, if I could have David Staley please stand up. We'd like to honor David's accomplishments at the college, and certainly as an outstanding young man. I've gotten to know this young man quite closely over the last 3 years. As our goalkeeper, as a person who is very close to our athletic program, as an outstanding athlete, and as an outstanding student. David graduates this year. And with that, we'll certainly we'll lose an outstanding young man, an outstanding young keeper. So big shoes to fill. In addition to that, next fall we'll be implementing and moving it from this particular form to next fall, as part of our homecoming reunion, a special uniform retiring ceremony. And David Staley, in recognition of his outstanding achievement over 4 years at Durham College, David, we're going to retire your number 1 next fall. Can't leave us yet. You have to be around next fall. Women's basketball is next. No introduction is needed for our head coach. I will review the season, obviously, an outstanding season. One that was not without some difficulties to get through. A coaching staff that dealt with those, some adversity getting through the season, and an outstanding group of young ladies who persevered through that. An outstanding overall record of 16-12, third in the Ontario League Conference during the regular season with an impressive 10-6 record, and Ontario bronze medalists this past season. I'd like to call upon head coach women's basketball, Mr. Michael Duggan.
Okay, hopefully I can get through this because it's going to be emotional. I told the girls I wasn't going to do this. At the start of the year, if you thought that we'd receive a bronze medal at the end of the year, you would have said, there's no way. But I had 8 girls that bought into a system, that they believed in me, and they worked hard day in, day out. We persevered through injuries. You name it, we persevered. I had 2 guards go down with knee injuries, and in first day of practice, they were done for the year. I am so proud of them. We came so close, beating Fanshawe Falcons for the second time. The first time we played them at Durham, we lost to them by 3 in overtime. Second time, we were up by 9 with 4.5 minutes to go in the semifinal and the Final Four, and we ended up losing by 3 also. But the girls, like I said, for me, this is my last year. Sorry. This is the way, I'm so proud of them. For me, it's the way I wanted to go out. Step down as coaching. Fortunately, it wasn't by my choice. I have to say thank you. I love you all. To those that are graduating, Kelly, Jen, Megan, Lynn, good luck in your future. You're terrific individuals and you will do well. And by the way, don't look up for Lynn, because she's going to get caught. So. To the ones that are returning, good luck next year. Work hard. Take what you learned from this year and bring back the gold. We started off the year with goals. Like I said, they believed in them. They worked hard towards them. We were so close. We tasted it. We gave Humber College, who went 16-0 in the year. We were the closest team out of Quebec and out west, the closest team to ever come close to them this year. So hats off. Remember, we won that game. Like I said, this is my last year coaching. I'm stepping down as coach of women's basketball. I will continue on golf. I have to follow in the footsteps of Ernie Rainbow, like I said earlier. Hard step, footsteps to follow in. Your Rookie of the Year. That was a tough one. Oh, sorry, I almost forgot. At the start of the year, I had no assistant coach. I went through a lot with my personal life through the past year. This young man, and he is a young man, stuck by me, again, believed in me, believed in our system, believed in the girls, and without him, everybody called him a manager, but I never called him my manager, I called him my assistant coach. Tony Kudo, please come forward. Going back to your Rookie of the Year. Tony and I sat down, it was a tough decision, but this young lady, first year, we call her Little Will, and when she comes up, you'll know why. But she's got a heart of nobody I've ever seen, I've ever coached. This young lady hurt her knee in our semifinal game against Seneca. She came forward, she stepped it up, and I had so many coaches come up to us in the Final Four and say, I wish I had her on our team, but I said, tough, you're on, she's on my team. And this year's Rookie of the Year, and good luck next year, is Angela Wilson.
like to win. Coach's Award. Coach's Award, she's going to be a two-time Coach's Award winner. She played for me 2 years ago when we went on and won our Ontario Championship. First ever for our college history. Kelly went, and it was unfortunate 2 years ago. First game back against Seneca, she blew her knee out, and it was unfortunate she sat the whole second semester. But she was there, time in and time out, and she did the same thing this year. She was one of our captains. She's a quiet leader, a great individual, great young lady. She has a bright future ahead of her. And this year's Coach's Award goes to Kelly Mercer. Last but not least, your MVP for 1998-99. This young lady, she persevered. I recruited her 2 years ago from LaSalle Secondary School up in Sudbury, but originally she's from, where's it, St. Amos, Quebec? Close enough? Jen's from Quebec, and when she came here, her English wasn't that great. But you know, she had Ernie Rainbow to thank because she's in the sportsman program. So way to go again, Ernie. Boy, we're saying your name a lot tonight, aren't we? Jim Buckle said that. Jen persevered and has an outstanding, almost 4.0 GPA. So she's a great student. She's a great basketball player. Again, she's one of our captains, leaders. And she's working at Nike right now, so she has a bright future ahead of her. So our MVP this year is Jenny Lee. Thanks again, girls. It was an amazing season. It was an amazing run, and I couldn't have asked to end my coaching career any better. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, recipients from this basketball and standing here. We'll add the fact Mike's moving on now, not only be the head coach of our golf program, but will also be taking on the senior convener's title and role for the Ontario Colleges Athletic Association in his new duties, and as well will also be forging ahead to develop the first ever national championship for golf on behalf of the OCAA and CCAA. So congratulations, Mike, on all of your accomplishments. We also have a special memento for Mike once we get it back from the framers, and present to Mike at a later staff function on his significant contributions. So Mike, thanks a lot. He hasn't given us the stuff to frame yet for him, that's why it's men's basketball is next. I will add the fact Seneca's taking a beating tonight, and that's okay at Durham. But I will add the significant contributions of this next gentleman to our program in welcoming a former Seneca person, former athletic director at Seneca, or basketball coach at Seneca, and certainly an outstanding representative person in the OCAA. We're proud to have him complete his first year as head coach in a transition year of difficulty, and you go through that from time to time, like in junior hockey. Ernie will be back next year in his second year, and certainly with a strong coaching staff in his second year at it, we're certainly pleased to have this Seneca person here at Durham College. Head coach men's basketball, Mr. Ernie Armstrong.
Well, thanks, Ken. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure indeed to participate in one of a million athletic banquets, but my first at Durham College, and I really enjoyed it. Before we talk a bit about the basketball team, I would like to add my congratulations to the inductees to the Hall of Fame. I don't know Alan really well. I noticed that he's a Markham guy, so he's got to be all right. Congratulations. I do know Ernie Rainbow and Sue Scobee very well, consider them real friends. Solid representatives of the OCAA throughout the years. And not only are they Hall of Fame athletes and administrators, they're Hall of Fame people. So congratulations to them. Special thanks too to superfan Frank Bruno, who was there every step of the way this year in a difficult season, and we really appreciate your support. It was an awesome. Thanks again. Desmond Raleigh, our assistant coach, hasn't made an appearance yet. He had a dental appointment this afternoon, and I just have this image of Desmond somewhere out in the parking lot with the freezing coming out. But stepping in on his behalf, longtime friend and volunteer assistant coach, Bob Nicholson, to help out with the awards tonight. All you need to do to know about our season, I guess, is to look at our record. I can tell you that although it was probably the most difficult season that I've had as a coach, and I'm sure that our players have had as players, that I thought in a lot of ways we had a winning season. I do know that we have a group of winners on the team, and that the program will be back as quickly as we can make it. We've got a solid foundation. We have good young players, and they're all good people. And Durham should be proud of them. I know I am. Our Rookie of the Year this year exemplifies the team that way. He has tremendous upside potential. He worked very hard this year. Skills improved a lot. He's a tremendous athlete, solid student. Looking forward to coaching him for many more years. Mark Mangers. I should have mentioned at the beginning how proud we are that the winner of the Bernan Award is Chris Klusterman, terrific representative of our team, someone who literally would go through the wall to do his best for the team. I knew Rob Burnett very well. Coached him at an all-pro basketball camp when he was 14 years old. Knew him from that point on, both as an athlete and as a friend. And he was a great person. He was a great representative of this college, and proud that Chris is representing Rob's memory this year. Our Coaches Award this year goes to someone that we asked to play out of position. We probably drove him crazy because we asked him to do things that he hadn't had to do in the past. He never complained. He kept working hard all the time, and very proud to give this award, the Coaches Award, to Kudo Service. And finally, our most valuable player. You just need to look through the program and you'll have a pretty good idea who that is. This young man won the league scoring championship this year, was one of 2 Ontario players named as All-Canadian, academic All-Canadian twice while at Durham. Just the epitome of a student athlete. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been lucky enough to coach athletes who've played Division I basketball, who've played for Canada, and who've played professionally. And this young man is in the top 5 of any player I've coached. Bill Prentiss.
Thanks, Ernie. Thanks, Bob, and congratulations, recipients. Before we get to men's baseball, or as Coach Dempster aptly names, baseball, because there's no such thing as men's baseball. That's what he's asking by the American coaches. Hey, girls play baseball? We play softball. We play it real well here, but anyway. Canada, it's men's baseball. We'll be on to that in a moment. What I'd like to do at this time is call upon Bill Prentiss. Will you please stand? This young man's been with us for 3 years. He's just ran the gamut of highs and lows in a collegiate career as a student athlete. His first year taking the team back to the Final Four after the 5th consecutive 20-win season. In his rookie year, taking the team to the not only Final Four but an Ontario Championship and first trip to Division I Men's Basketball National Championships in BC. Not only that, helping lead the team and being named an all-tournament all-star at the CCAA Championships in BC as we won our first ever college's national championship. Bill Prentiss then continued to lead the team over the last 2 years, and after graduating this year, we are very privileged, and Bill, this is very deserving of you. Next fall, along with David Staley, your number 5 will be retired from men's basketball from this day forward. Bill Prentiss. Congratulations, Billy. Very well deserved. Men's baseball is next. A winning season again, which is certainly a customary with our collegiate men's baseball program, one of the few college baseball programs in Canada. In just a short time of 7 seasons, Durham has not had a losing season, and it's because of this gentleman and the dedicated efforts of the student athletes that dedicate themselves to college baseball north of the border. Baseball is synonymous with college south of the border. There are only 2 colleges in Ontario playing, along with a group of 20 universities in which we play in a college and university league. This past year, for our 7th consecutive winning season, we made it all the way to the conference finals before losing a difficult series in the conference finals to the University of Toronto Varsity Blues. And Coach Dempster's squad and the gentlemen on that team, the coaching staff, should be very proud of their season. Another winning season, conference finalists this past year. Please welcome head coach Sam Dempster.
Inductees, thank you. Missed it by that much. Seems like that's what we say every year. It's sort of like a country and western song. Maybe if we play it backwards, we'll get it right. I'd like to call up our Rookie of the Year. And this man really surprised us in a lot of ways. If you watched him play, he was very lackluster, just kind of shuffling along. But anyway, it turned out he led the nation in home runs. That's Trevor Kane. I'd like to thank Coach Rick Jarvis for being here. Without capable assistance, we would not have been as successful as we were. Coach Johnson sends his regrets, and Jeff Pierce again declined to appear in case I'd send him for coffee. The next award we want to hand out is the Top Pitcher Award, and it goes to Brent Heaslip. Brent led the nation in hit batsmen. Of course, going along with that, people getting plunked is a little bit of fear instilled in them, and Brent again was one of the top recorders of strikeouts in the nation. This next award goes to a player who's been with us for his entire career here, and he just did everything in and out every year. Whatever we wanted done, he'd do except run. And the Coach's Award is going to be given to Brian Vickers. Tough to hand out an MVP award because, as the coach said earlier, all your players are very valuable. But this one person stood out as much as anybody that we've had.